Ever wonder how some people effortlessly keep conversations flowing, even with the quietest of companions? Welcome to Bookish Mind, Season 08, Episode 05, where we explore the insightful strategies from Deborah Fine's The Fine Art of Small Talk chapter on Let's Give Them Something to Talk About. For this deep dive, our mission is, well, it's to give you a genuine shortcut to becoming a better conversationalist. And maybe not by talking more yourself, but really by empowering others to open up. It's about leveraging your natural curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. To become a more magnetic presence in any conversation, really. Because so often, we find ourselves in what feel like dead-end conversations. Could be anywhere, networking, family stuff, just chatting with a neighbor. So our goal today is to equip you with specific actionable tools, ways to transform those maybe brief exchanges into, well, truly meaningful dialogues.
Okay.
And it's mainly by engaging more deeply with your conversation partner so you can be the catalyst, without feeling like you have to carry the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack this core idea then. Deborah Fine calls it, it's all in the asking. We've all heard, ask questions. But what's the deeper insight here for someone trying to keep a conversation, well, alive?
Yeah, the real insight behind it's all in the asking is it's about the shift. Moving from simple yes or no questions to open-ended ones.
Okay.
Because when you do that, you're not just asking for, a piece of information. You're actually inviting a story.
Inviting a story. I like that.
You're signaling genuine interest, and that's the real conversation catalyst. People want to share when they feel truly seen and heard.
You're right.
And these kinds of questions, they give your partner the freedom to disclose as much or maybe as little as they want. No stress, no feeling put on the spot. And the beauty is they work everywhere. Coworkers, your kids, total strangers. It doesn't really matter.
It's universal.
Pretty much. The real key, though, is choosing the right question. And then, this is crucial, being ready to follow up.
Okay, I could totally relate to the frustration of trying to get some people to open up. Yeah. My own kids, for example.
Yeah.
School-age kids, they are champions of a one-word answer. You know the drill. How was your day at school?
And the answer is?
Fine. Every time. And it's so easy to just let it die right there.
Right.
But the strategy here, it's treating that fine not like a wall, but like a doorway, a starting point.
Okay, so you persist.
You persist. You might ask, okay, but what did you like about it today? And my son might still give me a shrug. I don't know.
Yeah, typical.
But that's when you look them in the eye and say, really? Just tell me about one class you liked today, he thinks. Maybe he says, science.
For progress.
Exactly. Then you hit him with, what was interesting in science today? And suddenly, boom. He's giving this colorful description of some experiment, and we're actually talking.
That's it.
It just shows how vital it is to, genuinely show you care beyond that first automatic question.
That's a perfect illustration of how it works. And to help you actually do that, Deborah Fine gives us some really powerful open-ended question starters.
Oh, good. Like what?
Think about starting with phrases like, describe for me, or tell me about how did you is a good one.
Okay.
Or what was that like for you? What brought you to? Or even just a simple direct why. These are all designed to invite detail, invite storytelling. It makes it much easier for the other person to share their world.
So we've got open-ended questions, but, sometimes even when we try to be friendly, those common questions just fall flat.
Yeah.
Like, how was your weekend? Or how are you? Why do those often lead to a conversational dead end?
Well, it's interesting. Those common questions, especially in American culture, they often function more like a greeting, like a hello.
Right, just a formality.
Exactly. Not always a sincere request for a detailed answer. It's different in some other cultures, where how are you really expects a proper response. It'd be rude not to give one. But here, they can often be just platitudes. And the conversation dies not because there's nothing to say, but because there's no follow-up.
We don't pursue it.
Right. We're often mentally halfway out the door before they even finish their one-word reply. And the message we send, maybe unintentionally, is, I wasn't really that interested anyway.
Ouch. Yeah, I've caught myself doing that. Even with my partner, I'll ask, how was your day? He says, great. And then I just stop. But the book really makes you think about that. Like, my husband probably doesn't think I actually care unless I follow up, right?
That's often the case.
So now I've started trying to shift it. Instead of just accepting, great, I'll try. Oh, yeah, what made it so great? Or maybe, what went out for you today that you enjoyed?
And does it work?
Almost always. It fundamentally invites him to share more. It opens the door properly.
It's all about that active invitation. And the book has this cautionary tale, the Deborah and John dialogue.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
It's basically a script showing a conversation just stuck in a rut of cliches. It's a perfect example of what not to do.
Okay.
John tries to open up a bit about some struggles he's having, but Deborah just responds with this string of worn-out phrases. Keep your chin up, take the bull by the horns, you're not a babe in the woods.
Yikes. Not helpful.
Not at all. There's no real engagement, no active listening. It just shows how quickly things get stuck in platitudes if you don't, well, dig deeper. You got to move past the surface stuff.
Right. So how do we do that? How do we dig deeper?
Okay, so you need concrete ways in, especially based on those common short replies. For instance, someone says their summer was excellent.
Yeah.
Instead of stopping, you follow up. Oh, excellent. What special things did you do?
That's
Or how were your holidays? Reply. Pretty good. Your follow-up. Nice. How did you celebrate?
simple but effective.
Totally. Or say they mention, weekend was good. I went to see that new play. That's your cue.
What do I say?
Jump in with genuine interest. Really? You're interested in theater? I never knew that about you. Tell me more about that. It shows you actually heard them and you're curious.
Okay, I see the pattern. What about the really common ones, like when someone just says they're busy? Everyone's busy.
Ah, the busy reply. Yeah, instead of just nodding, turn it into an opening. You could ask something like, wow, how do you manage to deal with being so busy?
Interesting angle.
Or, what's currently got you so busy? Maybe describe a typical busy day for you. Even, do you actually like being busy? Or maybe ask about cycles. Does your year seem to have a cycle of busyness?
Lots of options there.
Yeah, or even, do you remember a time you weren't as busy? It can lead lots of places. Same idea with bad weather comments. Someone says, ugh, this rain. Reply, it sure is.
Okay, what's the follow-up?
Don't just leave it there. Ask something like, how terrible does the weather usually get around here? Or what's your idea of perfect weather? Maybe, how does this kind of weather affect you?
Right, make it personal.
Or ask about their history. Have you lived anywhere else with really challenging weather? Or simply, what brought you to this area? It just opens things up beyond the cliche.
That really drives home the power of, persistence and showing you're actually interested.
Yeah.
There's that great anecdote in the book, too, right, about the executive.
Oh, yeah, the email one.
Yeah. He emails a colleague about her promotion, asks, how's the new job? She replies, just pretty good.
The standard reply.
Exactly. But instead of leaving it, he emails back, I'm really interested. Seriously. How has it really been for you? And that follow-up, that little bit of genuine probing, got him this long, detailed email back about all the real pitfalls and challenges of her new role.
Wow.
It just shows how a little extra effort, digging just one layer deeper, can unlock so much more, even professionally.
It really does. And, as you get better at this, you might wonder, how much is too much? Especially with new people, right? You don't want to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, good point. Discretion matters.
Definitely. But even for those familiar, standard questions, we can often rephrase them to be more open. Like, instead of the blunt, are you married?
Which can feel a bit invasive sometimes.
Right. You could try, tell me about your family. It's softer, more invitational.
I like that. What about the what do you do question?
Instead of what do you do for a living, maybe try, tell me about your business or tell me about your work. Less direct, more conversational.
Okay. And how was your weekend?
You could switch that to something like, what was the best part of your weekend? Or maybe, what interesting things went on for you this weekend?
Focusing on the positive or the interesting.
Yeah, these simple shifts invite a much richer response, usually, while still keeping things comfortable.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener? Well, the good news is your conversation partners. They're often giving you this treasure trove of what the book calls free information.
Exactly.
You just know where to look. It's like they're handing you the keys to keep the conversation going. You don't even have to invent new topics constantly.
Right. It's amazing how much people offer up, sometimes without even realizing it. The chapter breaks down these sources of free information into a few key types.
Okay, like what?
First, and maybe the most obvious, are the answers to the open-ended questions you just asked.
Right, the answers themselves contain more material.
Exactly. When you invite someone to tell you about, say, their job, their first answer often has multiple points you can pick up on. Deborah Fine uses her own story as an example.
The AT&T job.
That's the one. Someone asked about her product planning job. She replied something like, oh, I was in R&D in Buffalo, New York, where I'm from, and I hated it. Hated being an engineer. They don't even make pocket protectors for women. So I asked to be transferred anywhere. They brought me to Denver.
Wow, okay, that's a lot in one answer.
Right. It's packed with conversational gold. Keywords just jump out. Buffalo, R&D, hated being an engineer.
So you could follow up on any of those.
Absolutely. You could ask, are the winters in Buffalo really as bad as everyone says? Or what was it about being an engineer that you didn't like?
Or you could even joke about the pocket protectors.
Totally. So if they had made pocket protectors for women, maybe your whole career would be different. Each one of those could spin off into a new conversation thread, all from that one initial answer.
Okay, so answers are one source. What else?
Well, beyond their words, just look at their appearances. It's a huge source of free info.
How so?
Think about it. Lapel pins, like the Rotary Club example in the book, or team apparel, maybe a Denver Broncos shirt, or a London Hard Rock Cafe t-shirt.
Or even something simpler.
Yeah, even just a cast on someone's arm. It's a perfect, easy conversation starter. You could say, oh, I notice you're wearing a shirt from the London Hard Rock Cafe. Have you been there recently? What did you think of it?
Right, it's non-invasive, shows you notice something specific.
Exactly. And similarly, office and home decorations, they're practically little small talk invitations just sitting there.
Like diplomas.
Yeah, a diploma on the wall. Oh, what made you choose the University of Michigan for grad school? Or a trophy. Wow, you must love golf. Tell me about this trophy.
Art. Photos.
Same thing. What an interesting piece of art. Tell me about it. Or a photo. Tell me about this picture. Who's that with you? These are easy cues, giving you instant insight into maybe their passions or background.
And then, of course, there's the context. Location, 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 occasion, occasion, occasion.
Right. The shared environment itself is rich with possibilities.
If you're at a wedding, the absolute easiest question is,
how do you know the couple? Perfect, universally accepted opener.
And at a work thing, like a seminar or convention,
what brought you to this event? Or which session did you find most interesting so far? It's easy, unobtrusive, and connects directly to why you're both there.
It really makes you think about just being more observant, doesn't it?
It really does. That Harry McLean elevator story is such a great example of noticing small details.
Remind me how that went.
Deborah was holding an elevator. She knew there were 2 classrooms on that floor. A man gets in, not from her class, so she just took a guess based on that free information.
What did she ask?
Just simply, were you here for a class? Turns out, he was Harry McLean, a best-selling author teaching the other class on book writing.
No way.
Yeah. They ended up chatting, made a connection. It just highlights, you never know who you'll meet or where a small observation might lead if you just pay attention and take a tiny conversational risk.
And don't forget behavior either. That can be a source too, right?
Absolutely. You might notice someone's left-handed.
And you could ask.
With genuine curiosity, maybe, is it challenging being left-handed in a world mostly set up for righties? Or what are some everyday annoyances?
Okay. Or an accent.
Yeah. Instead of guessing, just ask genuinely, that's an interesting accent. What part of the country or world are you from? Or what brought you here? These observations, if they come from real curiosity, can open doors.
They feel personal, but in a good way.
Exactly. Like that vivid FedEx clerk story. Another fantastic example of just an unintended icebreaker.
Right, she was in a hurry.
Totally in a hurry. But she noticed the clerk had beautiful handwriting on her package and just complimented her on it. A simple statement.
And the clerk?
Treated it like an open question. Launched into her entire life story. She was a teacher, perfected her handwriting, moved, got divorced, remarried, moved again. Deborah literally couldn't get away.
Huh? Wow.
It just profoundly shows that sometimes the slightest genuine interest, even a quick compliment, is all it takes. You don't have to be some master orator. Just be interested.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Practical application, especially, say, in professional settings. Preparing for a business function, maybe a client lunch. That preparation can make a real difference, right? You don't want to be caught flat-footed.
Absolutely crucial. Feeling prepared reduces anxiety and makes you more effective. Deborah Fine includes a great list of fail-safe questions for every business function. Really helpful to have a few in your back pocket.
Can you give us a couple of the really good ones?
Sure. Instead of just listing them all, let's look at a couple with, strategic value. Consider asking, what separates your firm from the competition?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's not just friendly chat. It invites them to spell out their unique value, which gives you insight. Maybe reveals areas for collaboration, too.
Smart. What's another?
Maybe. What do you see as the coming trends in your business? This shows you're forward-thinking, interested in their field, and it invites them to share their expertise,
Mm.
puts them in a position of authority, which people often enjoy.
Right.
The goal isn't, to fire off every question on the list. It's just having a few ready so you feel prepared, feel poised, feel confident going into those situations.
That makes sense. And that brings us neatly to the final, really crucial point, the one that resonates with me anyway. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Because I think for a lot of us, small talk feels like this innate talent.
Yeah.
Something extroverts just have.
Right, like it's magic.
But this really reassures you that it's a skill. And like any skill, it's about practice, not some gift only a few people get.
Exactly. The chapter really emphasizes this. It says mastering small talk is not difficult. High school geometry was much harder than this.
Uh-huh. I like that comparison.
Me too. And I tend to agree. It's about building a new muscle, really. Regular practice, little by little.
How so?
Just consciously deciding, okay, next time I talk to someone, I'm going to look for one piece of free information, or I'm going to deliberately use one open-ended question instead of a closed one.
Small steps.
Tiny steps. Doing that consistently will eventually lead to the ability to effortlessly give your conversation partners plenty to talk about. It just becomes more natural over time.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive has really shown us that the art of small talk, it isn't really about being the life of the party or having endless amazing stories yourself.
No, not at all.
It's truly about the genuine interest you show in other people, empowered by asking those thoughtful, open-ended questions and just being a keen observer of all that free information that's just out there.
Yeah, when you actively seek out that free information and you make a habit of asking follow-up questions, you basically transform yourself into a facilitator.
A facilitator, I like that.
You allow others to share their worlds. And that, in turn, it not only enriches your own understanding, but it deepens your connection with them. Which, raises an interesting question.
What's that?
How might just a single genuine question you ask someone today, how might that ripple through your interactions? Maybe open doors you never ever expected to find.
That's a really powerful thought to end on. So here's your challenge for this week, if you're up for it.
Okay.
Immediately try out these strategies. Find one source of free information when you encounter someone. Maybe it's their t-shirt, a picture on their desk, maybe just their brief reply to your initial question. And then use an open-ended question to truly dig just a little bit deeper.
See what happens.
Exactly. You might be genuinely surprised at where that conversation takes you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.